Work it, make it, do it, make sense.
Thank you all for coming. I'm sure you're all eating your lunch, and I'm sure there'll be dribs and drabs of people coming in as we go. My name is Paul. I look after technology research and open innovation at Tesco Labs. Tesco Labs, well, you've hopefully all heard of Tesco. We're one of the biggest retailers in the world, 500,000 people, 7,000 stores, that sort of thing. We were also pretty much the inventors of getting your groceries delivered online, and we have a 50% market share of that in the UK. And what I'm really going to rip through today at some speed is some of the different experiments we've been doing recently to look at using IoT to help people shop. So it's using, as people get more and more connected things in their houses, in their kitchens in particular, what we're looking at is experimenting with that to try and make their lives easier, really, by taking a lot of the effort out of having to do the grocery shopping. We'll touch on various things in different topics, and that's more or less what I'm going to cover in the next 15 minutes. I just wanted to start with this, really. This is kind of a picture of the ecosystem, and I'm going to go back to ecosystems at the end. But really, we've got the customer at the center of this, and then all around the customer, you've got all these things in their lives that are starting to be more and more connected. We've got, obviously, the stores, our delivery vans, the products. We've got people's health and, the monitoring that people are doing these days, the quantified self stuff. You've got the thermostats and the things in the home. You've got the fridge there as well, because the smart fridge has almost been like this poster child of IoT, that everyone says, oh, the smart fridge, that's going to be the bit that's going to be really clever, it's going to order all my things. And so far, even if you drop £4,000 on a fridge from Samsung, it's not smart at all. They've basically taken a tablet and stuck it on the front of a fridge, and it's not very clever, it's not very smart. We've obviously got phones. People check them, between 90 and 300 times a day, so we're kind of into that. And then we've got cars as well, although it's probably a bit further away before your groceries maybe go and get collected by your car by itself. But it's the sort of thing that might impact our business in a pretty big way. So we sort of started off at the simplest bit, really, with buttons. And you might all have seen the Amazon Dash button and a couple of other examples. But my favorite example in this space is the Domino's button. So 80% of Domino's orders are the same as last time. So you just push this button and the pizza arrives. It's the ultimate in one-click shopping. Yeah? You push that, and half an hour later, your regular pizza arrives. You've paid for it, you've tracked it, all that sort of stuff. So we actually went ahead and tested buttons, and in fact, I've got one, because we thought it was interesting. We thought that people might want to use buttons to do their shopping. So we had some made with Tesco logo on it. We actually let customers change the product that they wanted to associate with this button, actually by email, because we couldn't be bothered to write an integration at that point. So they could have one product or many products, and when they pushed it, there we go, the light flashes red. In a minute, it's going to beep again because it's failed, but because it's not on the Wi-Fi here. But this connects to your Wi-Fi, and it puts products in your basket. So we sent these out to a load of customers. Everybody pushed them in the first week, like, oh, cool, a button, I'll push that. Yeah. After the first week, anyone want to guess how many people pushed the button? 5%, you're not far off. It wasn't many, right? We'll just leave it at that. There we go, it's not worked. Which is good, because then I'm not going to have anything extra in my shopping basket at the end of the day, which does happen. I once got a whole crate of milk delivered, and 3 crates of apples, actually, all as part of experiments that I hadn't necessarily noticed that were happening in my life. So we did the button thing, and we're not sure about buttons, partly because nobody used them, and partly because this is only half of the buttons you can now buy from Amazon. There's over 300 brands now on the Amazon Dash button store, and you're not going to have that many in your house. Our customer research said you might have 2 or 3. You're certainly not going to have this many. And actually, our research showed that no one wanted to push them. Some Amazon products are shifting through buttons now. Some brands are seeing a lot of volume through buttons, but still, half the buttons that get sent out don't get pushed. I think it was a Forbes article just before Christmas with some stats about that. A lot of these buttons are going unpushed. Amazon don't care because they make profit when they sell the button. The brand pays for it. It's a really interesting ecosystem, but it's there, and that's the important bit about the ecosystem. I'm going to jump on to barcode scanners now. So again, Amazon, you might have seen with the Dash, it actually launched before the button. It's basically a stick that's a barcode scanner. This one is actually from a French supermarket, Carrefour. Actually, the French really have taken to these little barcode scanners. It's like a fridge magnet. It does one thing. It scans a barcode, puts that thing in your basket. Carrefour, Intermarché, and Casino in France have all tested or rolled out barcode scanners like this. And again, we've also tested these, and you probably see something from us later this year with a bit of luck. But customers love this stuff. Like, you just push it, it goes straight in your basket. Anyone can use it in the house. Just takes one scan. A lot of customers putting it near the fridge or near the bin. So as something runs out, you just scan the barcode, it goes straight in your basket. So that was a really big success, and we'll probably see something along those lines from us later in the year. But what I really wanted to move on to was sort of rules and ecosystems. And one of the things that we launched, I think about a year ago now, was If This Then That. Any of you heard of If This Then That? IFTTT.com. I'm going to call it IFT because it's a lot faster to say. So IFT allows you to connect all of the different online services you have together. It started off in a world where really it was, if you change your Facebook profile picture, change it on Twitter at the same time. And there's a lot of social media use for it still. But more and more different brands are starting to experiment with it, and so are we. So this shows you a snapshot of some of the rules that you can set up with Tesco. We were the first retailer in the world to let you buy stuff using rules on If This Then That. And there's some examples here. There's some other ones that I quite like. But the most popular to begin with was automatically add a product to your Tesco online shopping when the price drops. So you just monitor the price with a trigger, and then the action is put that product in your basket. So quite straightforward, very popular. We've also got things like, with just a tap, put donuts in your basket. There's quite a lot of wine and champagne ones on there too. Like people have done, if there's a birthday in your calendar, make sure you've got champagne. So buy more champagne, that sort of thing. You can do things like if you hit your Fitbit target, buy a cake, reward yourself, undo all that really good work. You can do very basic time-based subscriptions, like add milk on Thursdays. So that's quite a quick way of, just making sure you've always got some milk, but not a very smart one. But what's really interesting with IFT is a couple of things. Well, the first one is on the ecosystem front. There are now 6 different washing machine manufacturers that have integrated with IFT. 6 different ones that hold more than half of the market between them. And okay, at the moment, you can only get a connected washing machine if you buy a really expensive one. It has a Wi-Fi module in it. But we know from the white goods manufacturers that they're all going to start being connected over the next couple of years. And then, if you go really long term, in about 20 years' time, once everybody's current washing machines have broken and been replaced, actually most washing machines will probably be connected to the internet, or certainly have the capability to be connected. And that's really interesting for us, because if your washing machine is connected, we know when the cycle is finished, then we know how much powder you've used, or how many tablets or liquid tabs or whatever it is you've used. If you look at something like a dishwasher as well, it's exactly the same. Dishwasher has a much more one-to-one relationship, though. So my dishwasher has been ordering its own tablets now for about a year and a half through this sort of mechanism, where every time it goes on, we hold a number in stock that says this is how many tablets are in my cupboard, and then every time the dishwasher switches on, it turns that down by 1. When it gets to a threshold, it was about 5, which is the average weekly usage, we put it in a basket. So I'm at the point now where I completely trust that. It's only missed about 2 over the entire course of that year and a half, and I just see dishwasher tablets in my basket, and I know that it's right. I don't have to think about ordering that. So what we think a lot of the potential in the connected home is to enable people to do that automatically, to not have to worry about it, to make sure you never run out of dishwasher tablets. There's always more automatically delivered as and when you need. There's other interesting things in this sort of space too, in terms of things like electricity monitoring. So my dishwasher isn't actually smart. I have a lot of smart stuff in my house, that sort of guy. But the dishwasher isn't actually a Wi-Fi one. I've got an electricity monitor. It's a bit like a smart meter on steroids. And actually using the sort of signal disaggregation on that pattern, you can tell which appliances in your house are switched on and off at any given point. For most things over about 100 watts. I think the dishwasher is included. So from a single sensor that's in the cupboard under the stairs, I can actually see when most of the appliances in my house are switched on and off, and I can use that data to reorder stock, basically, all through platforms and ecosystems, a bit like IFT as well. The final thing just to mention here is actually we're the only supermarket that currently has an API. If you go to devportal.tescolabs.com, you can sign up and you'll get approved within a day to actually get information about the products we sell, where our stores are, and we've got a lot more planned for the API as well in terms of actually letting people add stuff to their basket, maybe launching affiliate schemes and that sort of thing on the back of it. So we're really keen to drive a large developer community, and we've already got about 1,200 people using those APIs as well. So a lot of interesting stuff there. Right, pretty much finally, I want to talk a bit about voice. So we've seen voice impact shopping quite a lot, and actually earlier this week we launched an application, again kind of through IFT, it's a bit of a workaround at the moment, so that you can do your grocery shopping on Google Home. So I'm just going to show you the video, then I'll talk about it a little bit. Hopefully this will have some sound.
Hey Google, add eggs to my Tesco basket.
I'll add eggs to your Tesco basket.
Hey Google, get more hand wash.
It's on its way.
Hey Google, add AA batteries to my online shopping.
Sure thing. Integrate your Tesco online grocery shop with Google Home through IFTTT.com.
There we go. So you can see that was filmed completely live. That absolutely works. If you have a Google Home, you can connect it to IFT today and audio shopping. It does a couple of things that we've never actually released before as well. If you, it really personalizes the search. So if you say milk, it will actually first of all look in your usuals, which are all the items that you buy pretty much weekly or regularly, certainly. If it can't find anything there, then it'll look in your favorites, which is kind of all the things you've ever bought in the last year and a half. And then after that, it'll just go to the default search results, which are based on popularity of product. So if I search for milk, I don't get the default. I get 4 pints of full cream milk, which is what my daughter drinks. And pretty reliably, if you say a common phrase like milk or bread or something like that, it will stick the right one in your basket, the one that you normally buy. So that's quite exciting. It's the most personalized search we've ever done. And it's fairly basic, but it works really nicely. The second thing it does is, in the past, if you wanted to amend an order, so a lot of customers book a slot and then they'll change the order up until the day before. If you wanted to amend it, you had to go in the app, you had to press amend, you have to search for all the different things, and then you have to save the changes. Actually, this will just have a look in your basket, see if there's anything in the, if you've already got an order booked. If you do, it will amend that order and save the changes, send you an email to remind you, and then if you haven't got an order booked already, it will just put it in your basket for next time. So a couple of little tweaks to this, actually, which make it almost better than the website. So it was quite a successful afternoon of coding for Jamie, who built this over the Easter holidays. Yeah, so voice we think is going to have a massive impact on the home, and actually we've already got quite a lot of users of that, considering there probably aren't that many Google Home devices out there in the UK yet. So that's really interesting too. Right, I think that's basically my time. I'm not really getting a wave or anything. Has anyone got any questions? Quite happy to answer a couple of questions. Go on. Yeah. Yeah, so we don't currently offer a public API to let you put stuff in customers' baskets, but that is absolutely at the top of our list for development in our team. Yeah. We're planning to make it completely public, absolutely. So in the next couple of months, watch this space. It's currently our top priority, and we'll be adding all that sort of functionality to the API as soon as we possibly can. The best way to find out about it is to sign up to the existing API portal, and then we always alert users there first of new functionality. Is there another question somewhere? Yeah, well, I guess so the way that most people shop today is you have to basically go online or on the app to actually do the checkout. And you can do that up until midnight the day before your shopping comes. And actually, most customers do go on and check at that point. So you have a quick scroll through and you can see that nothing ridiculous has happened. Although now we've seen in the US, Google have launched the ability to tell who is using Google Home. So I think that problem will be solved quite quickly. It'll just be only these people are authorized to do it. Cool. That's it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Anyone else got any questions then? Go on. It's inevitable, I think. Yeah, we try and do a lot of the things we do first. I mean, we were the first ones in a lot of scenarios. We were the first ones to do a mobile app. We were the first ones to do online shopping 21 years ago. The Tesco online supermarket launched. So, and I think it was 1984 when Mrs. Snowball made an order through CFAX on her TV in Gateshead, and that was like the first ever remote grocery shop. So hopefully we can keep on being first at these sorts of things. It's inevitable that everyone else will do it too, I think. But let's set a trend. Cool. Anyone else? Brilliant. Thanks for listening, everybody.